Hello, my name is Sean Davis. I'm with the Fort Cavazos Garrison Public Affairs Office, and this week we have something exciting. We're talking about motorcycle safety, and more on this week's episode of the Great Big Podcast.
Hi, I'm Eric Rodriguez with your Fort Cavazos Garrison Public Affairs Office. Welcome to the Great Big Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Jay. Jay, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Fort Cavazos.
How you doing? I'm Jay Jackwett. I'm a motorcycle instructor for Fort Cavazos Motorcycle POB campus. We train those on how to ride motorcycles, man. I spent 22 and a half years in the Army. You know, I retired in 2008. I've been working at Fort Cavazos Motorcycle POB campus since 2008, and having a good time, you know, instructing soldiers on how to ride these motorcycles, man.
Oh man, getting on a bike is it's something that's really freeing and fun. So tell me, what did you do in the Army, and what got you to go pursue motorcycle safety for the troopers after you retired?
Well, I was a 13 Fox. I was a forward observer in the Army. When I retired from the Army, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I was at the gate. I was at the gate. They just issued me a holster. You know what I mean?
Just right back at it.
To be a gate guard,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
You know, and one of my friends worked there, and I used to kind of show her how to ride motorcycles. So she mentioned my name to General Tommy Stone, the guy that used to run the program, and I was sitting in there. I just got out of line from getting the shirt measured. I had a holster around my waist, and my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, so I was like, you know. So I went ahead
I know how that feels.
I went ahead and answered it, and on the other end, the guy says, "Is this Jay Jackwett?" I said, "Yeah, this is Jay Jackwett. How you doing?" He said, "This is retired General Tommy Stone. How would you like to come over and teach people how to ride motorcycles?" I said, "What?"
This is a job?
Right?
You're gonna pay me for this?
Hey, I said, "I'll be there in 10 minutes." I took the belt off my waist and I gave it back to the guy. I said, "I got a better offer." And I went over I got there probably about 5 minutes, and when I walked in there, I introduced myself, and the first thing he said was, "Well, Jay, this is what you're gonna be doing. You're gonna teach soldiers how to ride motorcycles, and you're gonna teach this intermediate driver's training program also."
That's pretty awesome.
I said, "Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing."
If you get to do something you love, it's not really work, right?
It's not work at all.
So, how long have you been riding? And then, what's the one thing about riding that stands out to you the most, that you enjoy the most about riding?
I've been riding since like 1990. It's kind of like being when you look back on it, it's kind of like being a cowboy or something. You just ride your motorcycle under the stars, under the sky, and it's freedom. You know what I mean? It just feels, man, it's nothing better than riding my motorcycle at nighttime under the stars for a long trip or whatever. So I've always been fascinated with riding motorcycles, and you know, ever since I was a kid. One of my dad's friends on the motorcycle, he let me ride it. When I was a kid, it was a big, gigantic motorcycle. He let me ride it, and I'm all in since then, man. I'm all in riding motorcycles.
So what are you riding now?
I ride a 2015 Harley Davidson Road Glide Special.
Okay.
You know, my knees make me give up my Gibson 750, my Suzuki Hayabusa, but
all right.
So I'm down to that right now. I'm president of the motorcycle club in the area, and we just do a lot of motorcycle stuff. My wife's the president of the motorcycle club, and we do a lot of motorcycle things.
That's awesome. I used to ride a ZX14, so I know how those cruisers change up the way everything feels. It's definitely a lot easier on my back. So if I'm a new soldier and I need to come to the motorcycle safety course, what's the process of signing up for the course, and what would I need to bring for day one?
Well, the process of signing up is first get permission from the unit and then go on the air system, which is where our schedule is, and I go on the air system and sign up. You have to be there prior to 07, because our class starts at 07. You have to check in prior to 07. You have to have a memorandum signed by your commander when you come to check in. Your CAT card and whatever PPE that you own.
Okay. Speaking of PPE, why is it important to have all of that personal protective equipment, and what's like the best materials? What are the best things to look for as a first-time rider going out and buying some of that PPE? What should I look at picking up?
Well, when you're out, first of all, you want to have a Department of Transportation inspected helmet.
Okay.
Right. As far as PPE that we have to wear, that the soldiers have to wear, long sleeves, sturdy pants. You don't want to ride in sweatpants or yoga pants or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
I got
you
you.
need shoes or boots over the ankle.
Okay.
Sturdy shoes or boots over the ankle. No Chuck Taylor type shoes, but sturdy shoes or boots over the ankle, and full finger gloves. Preferably all motorcycle type gear is the best.
What's the reasoning behind that? Just like, I'm not a guy that's ever rode bikes.
Sweatpants material. Right. As soon as that material touches anything, it's gone.
Right.
It's coming right off.
It's tearing up.
You know what I mean? It's tearing right off. Like Chuck Taylor type shoes with the cloth on the side. You got the joints is pretty much where the real danger part is. You know what I mean? You got your ankle down there, and you need something sturdy covering it up.
Okay, so there are products that have like reinforced materials and
material like Cordura.
Okay.
Leather.
On that theme, what are some of the things, or some mistakes that you see often new riders making, and what can they do to prevent those small new rider mistakes?
Are you talking when they come to the class, or after, or just out and about riding?
When in the class, I assume most of the classes. I gather you'd have some experienced riders,
Yeah.
but you also would have a lot of beginners, guys just getting into it. What are some of the things you see, or some bad habits you see new riders making that you could, I don't know, help talk to avoiding, just not making those mistakes?
A lot of overthinking, just a whole lot of overthinking. You can't take off going, okay, I think you said to twist the clutch and squeeze the throttle. You can't take off doing a lot of thinking. I always tell people, use the person in front of you and kind of talk yourself through it while they're taking off. And then when you take off, try to clear your mind completely and ride with a clear mind. And then not all that extra, really hard thinking about the steps.
You just don't overanalyze everything.
Don't plan. I would say that would probably take most of the people that fail the course. That's probably one of the bigger reasons people fail the course. And don't be so hard on yourself when you make a mistake, because you just get frustrated. When you get frustrated, you can't do nothing good when you're frustrated. You have your people that's nervous. No need to be that nervous. We're gonna crawl, walk, and run. You know what I mean? And some of the training we've done in the Army is much tougher than what we're doing out here on the range. But people come with the idea it's a motorcycle, so it's kind of intimidating.
Right.
Which is understandable. It's understandable to be nervous.
Unfamiliar equipment.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But me and Joe try to get out there and we always say we're gonna force you to have fun. We get out there and laugh a lot.
Force you to have fun.
We get out there and laugh a lot and try to keep it real light, real easy with everybody, so they can try to get over some of those hurdles.
Try to keep them relaxed so that they're not making those silly mistakes.
Yeah, man.
From being honest.
Try my best to keep them as relaxed as possible.
I could totally understand it. Yeah. So, as a rider in the Fort Cavazos area, are there things that you see here that are seen more here than any other installation or any other areas you've been riding around? Or are there things that particularly to look out for just around here?
No, I always say we need to be real good at riding around like we're invisible. But we also need to be real good at driving everybody's car for them because, as you probably know, it's a lot of distractions out there.
Oh, yeah.
You got a whole computer system at the palm of your hand that can do anything.
People get distracted real easy.
People get distracted real easy. People, they're not used to. It's kind of like when you got taught when you got taught how to drive. How often did they mention motorcycle?
So I grew up. My father was a big motorcycle rider.
So he probably mentioned
he was in my ear all the time.
But most people, when they get taught how to drive, they don't.
No, you're right. You know, I'm thinking about. It's been a while since the driver's ed.
So guess what? Don't make the list of things to look for.
Right.
Motorcycles. You know what I mean? So a lot of people tend to pull out in front of motorcycles, and I've heard them personally say, I mean, they pull right out in front of a guy crash, and I've heard them say, I didn't even see him. You know, and you got 2-3 motorcycles coming right down the road, and they pull right out in front. You know, but
So
you know, it's just a matter of being real good at being defensive, and always having good kind of perceptual skills, good perception. You know what I mean? Kind of right around playing the what if game. What if this person pulls out in front of me? What if that person? And that way you can make adjustments on things that you what if.
So always be vigilant and situational awareness.
Oh yeah, man. The 360-degree awareness is real important. Yeah.
I can get behind that. All right. So for any kind of closing comments, do you have any advice out there for those who are listening and watching who either ride now or they're thinking about getting started?
Yeah. Well, you know, for the people that ride now, man, you should be constantly trying to learn. You know, trying to get better. And if you learn the proper techniques, you should make the proper technique of riding motorcycles the habit. But a lot of people fall into a lot of bad habits that tend to work against them. You know, and as for new people riding, you know, when you get your motorcycle, get out and ride your motorcycle. Don't park the motorcycle and expect to ride it. You know, go ride with your friends on Saturday, but you haven't rode it none that whole week. Now all of a sudden you want to go jump on it and go ride around. You know what I mean? You need to get familiar with your motorcycle. You need to get on your motorcycle, ride it, and use the things that you was taught in class, and you have a good long riding lifetime. You know.
So, no different than any other training any soldiers are doing. Get out there, get familiar with your equipment, and practice rehearsals.
Get out there and practice, and a lot of people have you know, as for you know other experienced people. You know, the pride is in the way. You know, too much pride to want to come and take the other course, or too much pride to you know. I mean, military personnel pretty much have to take the course.
Right.
Have to take a course every 5 years. You know what I mean? But our civilian counterparts, they don't have to take a course. You know, some of them never took a course. And I was one of those people for a long time. But when I took a course, I figured out that you really just don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? You just don't know what you don't know. So making the proper technique, the habit, should be the focus.
Okay. So going through the course yourself helped you correct some of the bad habits you might have had?
Yeah. You know, what I always tell people, you know, it's like I came in the course thinking I had 15 years of riding experience. And then after 2 or 3 exercises, I realized I had 1 year experience repeated 15 times. You know?
that other perspective always helps, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you learn the proper technique to something, you know, you can actually get better at it. You know.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add for yourself, sir?
No, man. Just you know, come on out, sign up for a course. Even for some of those leaders that maybe you have 2 or 3 soldiers that ride motorcycles and you want to be able to help them. Come on out, take the course. That way you can understand. You can understand it a little bit more and be able to help them a little bit more. Every now and then we do get leaders out there, and that whole reason for taking the course is just so they can understand what their soldiers is. You know, understand it better so they can help the soldiers a little bit better. You know.
All right, Mr. J, I appreciate your time today.
Oh yeah.
We'll be right back, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with Mr. J's counterpart, Joel.
Awesome.
Okay, so maybe your commute doesn't look quite like this, but don't let the road throw you an unexpected curve. Many riders would tell you that riding in heavy traffic or on the freeway is the most dangerous thing people do routinely on a motorcycle. Not true. 73% of single rider mishaps happened on curves. Stay focused, stay aware, stay alive. Readiness through safety.
Welcome back to the Great Big Podcast, and right now we've got Jay's counterpart, Joel. Joel, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Fort Cavazos working with Jay?
Jay and I have been working together since he came on. I was hired a little earlier than him, same process. General Tommy Stone interviewed us and hired me on the spot, just like the attitude. I was already certified. I'd been doing this for the Navy. I was in the Navy for 22 years. Naval Aviation Machinist Mate, that means, that's a fancy word that means I was a jet mechanic.
Right.
So I retired from that in 2006, got the job in 2007, and then met Jay in 2008, and it's been a beautiful relationship ever since.
What made you choose to get into motorcycle safety? I guess you like Jay got a little push from General Stone.
Yeah, well, what happened with me was I got involved as a volunteer while I was stationed in Japan. When we were out there volunteering, doing the I'm kicking cones and just helping him, I said, wouldn't it be the coolest thing in the world to just do this for a living? He said, it is. That's what I do. And then here I am.
So how long have you been riding, and what's the best thing about riding for you?
Well, this is going to be a surprise, but I've been riding for over 50 years. I started riding when I was 5 years old, started riding racing and BMX, and my uncles were hot rodders, racers, and so I saw them doing it. I wanted to do it, and as soon as I could get my hands on one, me and my brother started riding, and it's been like that for since 1970. So that's a long time.
It's a long time. All right.
I started teaching this in 2004. I race flat track, and that's the funnest thing.
Like that speed, that adrenaline.
I do. I love it.
I get it. So, what's the process of signing up for the class, and what should I bring to day one?
First thing that a guy needs to do if he's interested is get with his mentor program, if there's one. If there's anybody on a motorcycle that knows, he should get with his unit and get that ball rolling. A lot of times there's a process. They should have a memo that gives them permission to come to the class 2 days. They're not going to be recalled. There's an e-course that's required, so all of that is in the instruction sheet where they sign up on AIRS. As Jay said, the AIRS program has to be accessed from a military computer, and then once they get into AIRS, they show up with their memo and their e-course certificate completed, and as much gear as they have. Now, we can let them borrow a nice set of gloves and a new helmet if they don't have one. But if they have that gear, they can bring their own gear, and they do need to have full riding clothes or protective clothes that's suitable for motorcycling, not yoga pants and sweatpants and those kinds of things. We know that stuff's comfortable, and it's not going to protect you if you go down.
Okay. I know some motorcycle programs that teach folks safety and how to ride off the installation. They provide bikes. Do you guys provide bikes too?
We do. We provide the bike. We provide the gas. We provide the safest environment to ride motorcycles. Our ranges, we have 2 ranges dedicated to motorcycle safety only. That's all we do there. Nobody drives on them. There's not grease on there. It's nothing but just motorcycle safety training going on out there. So it's the safest place to learn to ride a motorcycle.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
So earlier when we were talking to Mr. J, he was addressing one of the problems he sees with new riders is the overthinking. What are some of the problems or mistakes that you see new riders making?
That's the biggest one. People get worried about themselves. They start to bring themselves to this point right here. They're looking down and they're thinking. They're thinking while looking down. A lot of us do that. But when you're on the motorcycle, you got to keep your head and eyes up, looking and thinking about where you want to go, what you want to do next. So Jay referred to look at the rider in front of you, think about what they're doing and what their technique is that is making the bike do what it's doing, and then you can take off and go do the same thing. You just can't overthink this thing. Can't burn the brownies.
I've never heard that expression
You're
before.
burning
All
the
right.
brownies, you're overthinking, right?
All right.
You got too much going on. You've got a no mind, as that movie says.
Just be in
Right?
the
Too
moment.
many mind the watchers, mind the other riders, mind your fear. No mind. Just empty your mind, like Jay says, and do the thing.
All right. So during the break, before we got back online, we were talking about different things that you guys might be seeing off the installation that riders are doing that they probably won't be doing on the installation. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's sad to say, and we're not judging. We get it. It's hot here. We get it. But, guys, people, guys, girls, everybody that rides, they'll take their gear off when they're off post thinking that that's okay to do, when actually they're going against UCMJ and all the regulations that require us to wear all the gear all the time. I have to wear it because I work for y'all. I work for the Army. So I have to wear all the gear all the time, but that's not why I do it. I do it just in case somebody doesn't see me and I have to do an evasive maneuver and I go down. If I do an evasive maneuver and end up on the ground, I got all my gear on, I'm not going to get as badly hurt. We see all kind of people doing what they want to do out there. It comes down to attitude. There's a lot of motorcycling has to do with a lifestyle choice. You got sport bike riders, you got Harley riders, cruisers, the motorcycle clubs, and you got your racers. You'll see the racers, and they'll be fully decked out in all the gear, leather, and all that stuff. If you're interested in riding at high performance, like I said, that's what I like. Then you take track days and you look into how to do this successfully. People compete at motorcycle competitions all the time, successfully. There's a good chance you're going down, so what do? They wear all the gear. They're not allowed to race without all the gear. There's a reason for that. So I know it's hot out here. There's gear for hot weather. There's gear that breathes real well. Cordura, Kevlar, leather doesn't breathe very well, but you can get leather with vents and stuff like that. Yeah, it's doable.
So there's equipment for every type of mission.
Absolutely. Huh? I've seen a jacket that was just mesh. That's all it was, just mesh. Cordura mesh and armor everywhere. It's great. I have one. It's great.
Okay, so that should be a familiar feeling for the troopers there. Mission equipment for every mission type.
There you go. That's a good way. Yeah.
So is there anything you'd like to add about? I got a different question. How many levels of the course are there?
There's only 2 now. We used to have 5. Now there's only 2. We have a basic course and the advanced course. The advanced course is only slightly advanced on the basic. The basic's foundational skills, and the advanced course is a couple of new tools to put in your tool belt to make the ride more fun and more successful at higher speeds.
So the basic course would be a required course for any trooper who wants to ride.
Yeah.
Is the advanced course mandatory, or do you just recommend that riders take that? Okay.
It's mandatory. The AR 385-10 is the regulation that stipulates these things. It guides us, and so the BRC, what they say, my BRC is expired. It doesn't expire. It's just military regulations want you to do follow-on training. That's normal.
Right.
Follow-on training is normal for all of us. So within a year, you do the ARC and you're good for 5 years. If you want to be good for 5 years, some units will say come back every 3 years because we just think 5 years is too long. And then there's other stipulations as to when they need to come back. An example of that is you get a basic course, you do your ARC, now you're good for 5 years, right? But now you get a new motorcycle because you stepped it up a notch. You come back to the ARC on your new motorcycle, learn some stuff, get familiar with that machine. Now you're good for 5 years until you get another motorcycle. Like me, I have 8.
Got as many motorcycles as I got jiu-jitsu geese. All right. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I think that riders, as we said, we don't know what we don't know. I rode for 30-something years without taking this course. And when I took the course, it was my eyebrows hit the top of my helmet. I couldn't believe what I didn't know. And I found out from taking the course, and it took me this long. It's taken me this long to finally get to where I can ride around from here and there and pretty much think, okay, they're going to do this, and I'm going to see them pulling out, so I'm going to start slowing down now. And you ride around, so you know they're not going to look for us. They're just not going to see us. It's normal. That's human nature. They're looking for cars and trucks. We're on a motorcycle. We're dressed in black, right? I don't dress in black, but I like the other colors. But, a lot of times riders don't dress to be visible. They don't make themselves visible. They try to be under the radar.
Always be vigilant. Always have situational awareness.
That's it.
We really appreciate your time, Joel. Thank you so much.
Man, we love it. We love it.
You're in the mix with the man who sets the turntables on fire.
Here comes the
I'm literally en route right now, man. Wait, hang on. This song is my jam. All right, so look, tonight we're on Elm Street, right? I'm only about 10 minutes out. And listen, don't worry about Willie, okay? I'm gonna make sure he's there. He's gonna be there. I'm gonna shoot him a text right now, okay? Out.
Sergeant Mathers prides himself in his ability to multitask, on or off duty. Only one problem. Studies show that successful multitasking while at the wheel is not possible. The stats were against him. Reaching for that burger made it 8 times more likely he'd crash. Did you know distracted driving causes nearly 50% of all accidents? All in all, it injures almost 400,000 people a year and kills nearly 4,000. On or off duty, distracted driving is deadly. The bottom line, if you drive while distracted, then you're not driving.
I'm Monty Campbell with your Garrison Public Affairs Office, and this is On Track with your Fort Cavazos Minute. We've got everything you need to stay informed and connected. Be advised, North Clark Gates Truck Inspection Facility will close October 16th until December. It will relocate operations to South Clark Gate at West Fort Cavazos. Fort Cavazos' Tedasco Way within the 69th Air Defense Artillery Brigade Lightning Ranch area will be closed from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. October 18th. Please plan accordingly. Fort Cavazos, the Directorate of Family and Morale, Welfare and Recreation, and Cowboys for Heroes, a nonprofit organization, will hold the Cowboys for Heroes Bumpers and Barbecue event from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. October 19th at the Phantom Warrior Center. The event is free to all and includes free chuck wagon barbecue, arts and crafts, and a pumpkin patch. For more information, visit the show notes. The Community Events and Bingo Center will host a Ghostbuster-themed bingo for children aged 2 to 17 at 11 a.m. October 26th. The cost is $7.50 with lunch included. Doors will open at 10 a.m. and goodie bags will be given to all children. Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers will also be having a trunk or treat in the parking lot for attendees. Costumes are encouraged. For more information, call the center at 254-532-9253. That's all for your Fort Cavazos Minute. Stay tuned for more updates and information to keep you on track. More info can be found in the links below.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Big Podcast. We're here to, just go over everything we just heard and talked about today. What did you think, Monty?
Well, Sean, safety is paramount, and we always have to wear our proper safety attire when riding a motorcycle.
Especially when riding a motorcycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know anyone that rides?
A lot of my friends do ride, and they do wear all their gear, thankfully.
I just came back from the class with Joel, teaching some new guys how to ride and basic stuff like that and what kind of gear. It's really informative. But yeah, that's one of the things that keeps getting stressed is like just be present of your environment at all times, because there's not a whole lot of structural steel around you to take the brunt of any impacts. It's really smart to make sure you're at least thinking 5 seconds, 10 seconds ahead every time.
Absolutely. And if you're riding that motorcycle, you have to wear that gear. And as a driver in a vehicle, you also have to pay attention to those because some motorcyclists like to go really fast. And before you know it, they're on you. And if you don't look, you're going to end up running into them. So we have to look out for our motorcyclists.
Yeah. So do you have like a favorite type of motorbike? I know you don't ride.
I do not ride, but I do specifically love Ducatis.
Okay. What about Ducatis do you like?
That speed that they can go, I mean, they can just fly.
Yeah,
and
all
so,
motorcycles can go fast.
Well, Ducatis just look better.
Okay.
And that's why I look at it. I like the way they look and the way they drive.
Yeah, no, I can kind of get that. I really like the, when they still made them, the Victory style bikes. Just that cruiser style. Not Harleys. I grew up in South Dakota, and that's all I saw, Sturgis Motorcycle Rally every summer.
Speaking of motorcycles, I saw plenty on the road going down to Marble Falls this past weekend. What did you do this past weekend?
You went to Marble Falls?
I went to Marble Falls because I went to Sweetberry Farms for the pumpkin patch. Every year we go there with my family, enjoy doing the corn maze and all the other events down there. Eat on the river. Okay. It's a good time.
Cool. I just missed you. Yeah, I was just there too. I don't know. I just like I drove down to San Antonio one time, and I drove past there because that's the way to there. At least not going on I-35. And I just was like, wow, this is in Texas. This has like hills and a bunch of greenery, a bunch of water. It looked pretty cool. So I checked it out and went hiking, and I wasn't really that disappointed.
Have you ever seen the castle there in Marble Falls?
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
On that hill.
I didn't stop there. No.
It's a nice place.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, that pretty much covers it for motorcycle safety. As always, guys, stay safe and make sure you tune in on next week's episode of the Great Big Podcast.